Welcome to Bears in Exile. Today is Monday, June 11th, and this is the market overview, looking at the Dow, SPX, VIX, TNA, UUP, FXE, GLD, SLV, and all the rest. Alright, well, things are going to look a little different tonight, because I am on the road, and so I'm using different equipment, different software, and but I'm doing my best to make it look the way that it always looks. Now, getting started, we had the Spain bailout happen over the weekend, and the markets were up huge in the futures. And of course, the jitters are abound, and instead of crushing the shorts, the bulls themselves were annihilated. Here we are with the Dow. Down 100 and almost 43 points. Terrible. You can see this big long tail going up into the long-term moving average bar. Essentially, we gapped up there. I mean, it looks like a tail, but it's not really a great representation of what actually occurred. And beyond that, you know, what happens when you gap up into the long-term moving average bar? It's happened a couple of videos ago. If there's nothing behind it, it gets thrown out, which is what the long-term moving average bar is there to do. And that's exactly what happened today. Beyond that, we have the 14-day RSI moving average losing its momentum, going sideways. Ugh, bad. We have the stochastics tonight, just the fast stochastic, turning down, along with the RSI and the CCI turning down, also terrible. The only thing going up is the MACD histogram and the MACD. Are those two enough to save it from everything else? Ordinarily, no. No, it does not. So, very terrible day. All kinds of damage done. Which isn't to say that everything is, you know, it's game over. We made a new recent high today. That is positive. Absolutely. Beyond that, not too much. This is not enough to do any damage to the long-term moving average bar, unfortunately. So all of that energy, what a waste. What a waste. Could have been so much today. At its high, the futures would have been up 200 points, would have cleared the bar entirely, and came up on the 50 moving average. But, yep, wasn't to be. So, with such an ugly day as today, you would think, hey, maybe the 60-minute time frame is in better condition. Nope. 60-minute is not in better condition. Matter of fact, the 60-minute is in about the worst condition that you can see on the charts. 14-day, all kinds of room to move to the downside. Stochastic is really low already, but I don't have too much hope in it rescuing us. The RSI, the CCI heading down, histogram heading down, MACD heading down, bearish cross. Plenty of room to move. So yeah, 60-minute, terrible. You can clearly see the new recent high today. You can also see we made a, barely by a fraction of a point, we broke the recent low. So, it's just terrible. SPX, more of the same. We beat the recent high by a fraction of a point. You could still say, oh, it's just a double top. It's close enough. By the letter of the law, it's higher. You could say that potential double top here. And just completely nasty. And just like the Dow, 14-day leveling out. 14-day RSI moving average, very, very slightly higher. I'm sorry, the stochastic's very slightly higher. 14-day going sideways, stochastics down, CCI down, RSI down, and the MACD slightly up. Terrible. And the 60-minute is no different. Made a barely a new recent high. And barely a new recent low, I do believe. That is a... oh no, it did not break the recent low by a fraction of a point. So is that going to hold? Well, if you look at the indicators, 60-minute time frame, they're just as bad as the Dow. I would not count on it holding, in which case we could have a really nasty retrace. And the VIX, bullish engulfing, gapping way down, and long-term moving average bar pushing it back up on the RSI and the CCI, sideways on the 14-day RSI moving average, terrible, up on the stochastics, down on the MACD, up on the MACD histogram, very nasty for the bulls, absolutely very nasty. Now, the only good thing about this is we also made a new recent low today, so you could say we could turn around and maybe the which one is this? The 200-day moving average, and try to go for a lower low, but this looks terrible. 60-minute time frame, is this one overheated? Well, everything is pointing up, although we do have a potential role in the RSI, CCI, and the stochastics. So a little bit of hope here that that something good will come out of that. But we have made a new recent high, breaking the one from the 8th and the 7th. And then we have this new recent low. So that's, at least there's that. Moving on to TNA. This one was beat up far worse than the Dow and SPX, down 6.5%. And you can see that we went up for a retest of the 200-day moving average a couple days ago, a couple market days ago. Hit the long-term moving average, was smacked down. Tried again today, made a deeper penetration, did not overcome the recent high, and it was smacked down even worse. Not a good sign. Everything going down except for the MACD. So terrible in the daily time frame. 60-minute time frame, you can see the new recent low better, and everything is headed down. Everything, absolutely terrible. And CompQ, the Nasdaq, yeah, this one made a I believe it made a new recent high. Yes, it did, by a fraction of a point. It made a new recent high, got right into the long-term moving average bar, gapping up there, popping up in the middle of it and getting pushed away dramatically. 14-day ticking sideways, down on the CCI, RSI, stochastics, MACD histogram, and the MACD just barely ticking up. So yeah, this is bad. 60-minute time frame, terrible, just like everything else today. UUP. All right. What is there to say about UUP? We didn't make a new low. We didn't make a new high. It's right in the middle. The 14-day RSI moving average is ticking down slightly. The RSI is ticking up. The CCI is ticking down. Stochastics are up. MACD histogram is down. MACD is down. So overall, this is potentially something that could reverse and be nice for the bulls, but it is early. We can see that we are tracking pivot points. We are going to get a lower pivot point. The question is it going to be here, or is it going to be if we turn around here and go lower? I just don't know at this point, but it'll be interesting either way. If this is the pivot low, this is a really bad sign, and we're going to be attempting a higher high very shortly. So very bad news for the bulls if that's the case. We could just be going up for a retest of the previous high. The stochastics would seem to indicate that, but they are not you know, they are not, the entire group is not pointing up. So, kind of difficult. FXE, the euro. And we can see that the CCI RSI is mixed. RSI down, CCI up, down on the stochastic, up on the 14-day RSI moving average, up on the MACD histogram, and up on the MACD. More bullish than bearish, definitely. Question here will also be, are we going to have a pivot point here? I really hope not. That'll be terrible, terrible news for the bulls, but it is what it is, and we can't sugarcoat it. 60-minute time frame, since this one is so darn important. You know, this would have gapped way higher had the Europeans not screwed it up, which seems to be what they're really, really good at. Too bad it's not, you know, exportable. Maybe then they would be rich. But beyond that, looking at pivots, do we have a possible head and shoulders? We could. Just something to think about. I'm not totally sold on that, but if we break through this area right here at about 123.70, big warning sign. Beyond that, 14-day RSI moving average moving down, stochastics down, CCI down, RSI up, slanting up on the MACD histogram, down on the MACD itself. What can you say? 60-minute time frame, we do have some pivots. We're looking at this. We could go down, make a new low, which would be a higher low, in which case we would go up and try to make a new recent high. That would be fantastic. And Apple, really bad day for Apple. It did make a new recent high, which is great. But yeah, it was just kicked around all day long. It did gap up above the upper Bollinger Band, so maybe that is to be expected. RSI down, CCI sideways, stochastics down, 14-day RSI moving average sideways, down on the histogram, sideways on the MACD. Not a really great looking chart, but it doesn't have nearly as much damage or bad positioning as the major indexes. 60-minute time frame. Does this one look any different than anything else? Not really. It looks pretty bad in the 60-minute time frame as well. Bearish cross on the MACD, down on the MACD histogram. 14-day RSI moving average just starting its down move, although it is very low on the stochastics. Down on the CCI, down on the RSI. Not an attractive chart. Not in the 60-minute time frame. GE trying to get a better read on the Dow. This one was not able to make a new recent high. Fat body spinning top. We don't like spinning tops. Mixed on the CCI RSI. Up on the stochastics. Sideways on the MACD. I'm sorry, the 14-day RSI moving average. Up on the MACD histogram. Up on the MACD itself. Bullish cross. If this one can break out the recent high maybe tomorrow, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. GLD. Now this is a pretty good looking chart to me. You can see we ended with a hammer today. It's not at the bottom of a range. The CCI is ticking up. The RSI is ticking up slightly. The 14-day RSI moving average is moving to the upside. Stochastics are down. Notice we have the cross of the 14-day RSI moving average with the stochastics. Now it just needs to turn around. Slightly down on the MACD histogram, up on the MACD. Not a bad looking chart. No, not bad at all. SLV ending with a small hammer. Very similar to gold. We're getting the cross of the 14-day RSI moving average with the stochastics. It just has to turn around. And a very slight tick down on the histogram, up on the MACD, up on the RSI and the CCI. This isn't a bad looking chart either. And you can see the ascending lows. Just pretty darn nice. And XLF, the financials, capping up to the long-term moving average bar and falling apart. Bearish engulfing. CCI RSI ticking down along with the stochastics, up on the 14-day RSI moving average, very slightly up on the MACD histogram, and the MACD is still ticking up. And I think that's going to just about do it. I might have missed something here or there. But that's going to do it. Terrible, terrible day. Charts look bad. And hopefully, the stinking dollar is going to reverse before it breaks out. And that is that's the main question. Can it maintain some momentum and go against the 14-day RSI moving average and the MACD histogram? Boy, if it does, this is going to get ugly really fast for the bulls. And there it is. As always, all investing decisions are your own. This chart and video for entertainment, educational, and consumption of time purposes only. Thank you.